Welcome to discuss on hard surface modeling in Blender with Cloud AI. In this tutorial series, we are going to create a stylized Fortnite-inspired low-poly turret from start to finish using professional box modeling workflows inside Blender. This course is not about modeling alone. It's about learning how modern artists can combine traditional 3D techniques with AI-assisted workflows to work smarter and efficiently. Throughout this process, we will explore the complete process of creating a game-ready asset, from initial blockout to clean topology, mechanical detailing, bevel workflows, optimization, and final presentation. Along the way, we will also use Cloud AI as the technical assistant to help solve some modeling problems, analyze topology, improve workflows, and automate repetitive tasks, not as a replacement for creativity, rather as a tool that supports the artist. By the end of the course, you will have a deeper understanding of box modeling fundamentals, stylized hard surface design, modular workflow techniques, game asset optimization, and practical AI-assisted 3D workflows. These courses designed for Blender beginners who want to improve their modeling skills, intermediate artists exploring hard surface workflows, and anyone interested in integrating AI into the modern 3D pipeline. Our final project will be a fully modeled, stylized turret inspired by modern game art aesthetics, optimized, presentation ready, and built using clean, production-friendly techniques. So whether you're here to improve your topology skills, learn hard surface modeling, or explore the future of AI-assisted creation, you are in the right place. Let's get started. Welcome. In this video, we'll get everything ready. Make sure we're on the same page regarding navigation. Currently, I'm using Blender 5.1 and I have my screencast at the bottom left corner of the screen. Hopefully, I'll be calling out my shortcut keys, so you don't have to worry if you cannot follow along the screencast. First, edit preferences. Here's my navigation settings. Here's the input. My emulate numpad is disabled, and I have emulate 3-button mouse. I use a tablet. And here is the navigation. I believe the only thing that I changed from the vanilla setting is zoom to mouse position and invert zoom direction. So there you go. Close that. Let's get the reference set up. In order to do so, just head over to the source file and drag the reference into the 3D viewport. There we go. So we can just rename it, call it something familiar like reference. All right, so the transform is a little bit skewed. To get it back to default, just hold down Alt and R. Hold down Alt and G to reset the position. And we are all set, so I can just press N to review the panel menu. I'm currently on the item, see what is going on. Click on it, it disables. Click on it the second time, it enables. Or you can press N, it does the exact same thing. All right, so now that we have the reference set up, let's just rotate it in the X axis, RX, and then type in 90. This is what we want. Let's just move it a little bit to the back, which will be in the positive Y direction, Y axis. This is the positive Y, this is the negative Y, this is the negative X, this is the positive X. As you can see, demonstrated by this gizmo. The minus X is at the left and the positive Y is at the right. So there we go. We have our reference set up. Let me just close the panel and let's begin. Let's break this project down. We want to take it step by step. We'll start by working out the primitive form, building the primitive form, and then adding detail as we go. This is an AI-generated reference. I just asked them ChatGPT to generate something, a good idea for us to work with, a hard surface reference to work with. And this is what it came up with. we are going to select a few features that stand out to us, but not necessarily everything, because since it's AI generated, it doesn't 100% make sense. So the thing that doesn't make sense, we can discard it. There are certain details that are not to be there. We can just equally discard that. But we are going to work on the, the main body and those features that stand out to us. So we are going to start from the base. But how about this? Let's ask Claude if Claude can generate the primitive form. Let's see what Claude can actually help us with. All right, it seems Claude was unable to generate the model without exhausting the usage limit. This is a good place to stop. In the next video, we will begin modeling. All right, so welcome back to the course. Let's begin the modeling. First off, you can see the schematic at the bottom right-hand corner. The AI that generated this reference for us, ChatGPT, was able to isolate, to create all the individual parts of the turret in an exploded view. And that works well to our advantage. So the first thing that we can do is to create the base and the legs. But let's start with the base. To do so, we just have to count how many faces there are. You can see it's 1, 2, 3. So the first leg is here, and the second leg is connected to the third face. So that would make it 3 at the right-hand side, 3 at the left-hand side, and we have 2 more faces, the front and the back face. That would make it all together 8. Octagon, that's what we have. So we just create a cylinder, mesh, and cylinder with, do not click out from this context window, because we want to change some of the parameters. All you need to do is to expand it. Go to vertices where it says 8, and we are done. This is good for us. Okay, so we can come right here and scale it down using S. You can see my shortcut. Hopefully they're clear. If not clear enough, let's go to screencast, and perhaps let's see if this will be good, and then increase the font to something like, let's say 50. Maybe, hopefully this is good. All right, so let's go out and then scale it appropriately, something like this. Now that we have 8 sides, we can rotate it so we can have a face fully facing the front and the back. In order to get that result, let's just go to the top view by pressing 7, the numpad 7. Then to get it to look this way, let us just rotate it in the Z axis. We can just type it in here, 360 divided by the number of faces, 8, divided by 2 to split that face in half. And there we go. Pretty much works for us. This is good. Let's call it the base. Next, we can just raise it up just slightly. The next thing that we can do is to create the metal plate, the yellow one. So we can just move our cursor to the center from this object and then place a cylinder. This time it's not going to be 8. We want it something, we want it a little bit cleaner. So something like 24. Next, scale appropriately. Scale, press S. We want to scale it into Z. Move it by pressing G, also in the Z. This looks like it. Finally, let's create the last base, the metallic dark metal plate, this one where this hull sits in. To do so, we can just duplicate this and scale it just slightly and raise it up. To place this properly, to place this model, this object on top of this one, we can just move the pivot point to the base. To do that, let's just select the base and Shift S, cursor to selected, object mode by pressing tab, right click, set origin to 3D cursor. And then we can now make sure that you have the snapping set to active vertex. So we can just grab by pressing G, Z, constrain it into Z axis, and there we go. This is good enough. We can now scale it up just slightly. Now let's go to Cloud and ask it to just clean this a bit. First, we call this the base. This object here, let's see if there is a name for it. It says number 8, central pivot. We will call this central pivot. This, I'm not entirely sure what this letter is or what this number is. Okay, so this can be number 6, rotation ring. Let's just call it the same. This will be the rotation ring. All right, now we can ask Claude to just smooth these out. All right, not quite what I was looking for. So let's select the object and delete it. And as for this, I think it just changed it. Let's see what it did. All right, so let's delete it. Select this object and let's get it back to what it looked like. So let's kill it. It looks like the pivot point is still at the center of the object. So let's select the bottom face by going into the edit mode and selecting the bottom face. Shift S, cursor to selected, go to object mode, set origin to 3D cursor, and snap it to the top of this model, the base, and then scale it just inward slightly. Finally, let's go to material preview mode, go to material property panel, and then assign it a new material. Go to base color, click on it, select the color picker tool, and then select the color. Although the material is metallic, the paint itself is not metallic. So we'll just reduce this. Probably make it, let's say, maybe 0.1 or 0.2. Okay, maybe 0.1. All right, so this is good enough. This is good enough. We can now duplicate it and snap it in the Z axis, scale it inward, and just scale it in the Z axis to give it a little bit of height, and then give it a new material. To do so, you can just select this current material and click on minus, or you can just click on the number to create a new instance unique for this object. So material, we can now base color, color picker, and then select the object. This is metallic, so we'll just go probably say 0.8 and then change the color just a bit. Now we can refine it just a little bit by asking Cloud to help us. Select the 3 objects. Now that we are done with the primitives for the base, next up are the legs. Let's get right into it.